Well, joining us this morning is Councilman Gavin Griffin. Hi, Gavin. How are you this morning?
Good morning, Luke. You know, that's the first time I've had a song made about me, so I'm actually very honored, very happy to be here.
We'll send it off to you so you have it.
Wonderful.
Use it as a ringtone or something. Hey, glad you're with us here this morning. Happy Monday to you. And so much going on in and around the city of Titusville. Maybe you can give us a quick rundown of some things, and then I know you got some upcoming events that you want to talk about.
That's right, yes. So we had a very productive meeting last Wednesday at City Council. We had a full house, proclamations for EMS Week, which is next week, Public Works Week, which is next week, and Police Week, which is this week. So we had folks from our police department, from Emergicare and the fire department, of course, from Public Works. We had a very, very good meeting. It was 2 hours long, so we got plenty done.
Oh, wow.
Very seldom do we run more than an hour nowadays.
Was that because of how many things to talk about, or was there a lot of great discussion taking place?
There was a lot of great discussion. We had several community members bring things forward that they wanted to chat with council about, and I thought it went very well. So we were very fortunate to have a good meeting, and then another one here next Wednesday. So.
All right. Do you know what's going to be some of the topics, or will that come out first of the week?
Next time around, we'll have a second vote on the Emergency Management Committee, which is something that I've been pushing for, as well as with Neil. And so that would be a committee within the city of a member of council, someone from public safety, Public Works, and a couple of community members that would be tasked with putting together a comprehensive disaster management plan. So that would outline how our community would respond in times of emergency or crisis, and who would take what responsibility.
I would assume there's already some procedures in place, but what are you hoping to get out of something like this?
Well, you know, we've seen when we had flooding or other community emergencies that we had to address, that everybody has their own individual policies and procedures for how to address those things. But we don't have any one consistent, comprehensive plan so that we all know what's going on within each department. And so this would be a great way for us to come together and work together and put that plan in place and then implement it. Hopefully we won't have to anytime soon, but to have it set. And, you know, the goal is always to hope for the best and prepare for the worst.
When it comes to things like that, it sounds like this is something that maybe puts everybody on the same page with things, right? There's a lot of things like that. There's a lot of conversations that take place with different organizations where somebody says, well, oh, did you know so-and-so's doing that? And I think that's why these once-a-month meetings with nonprofits is really important. It gets everybody on the same page. And then you can work together, or you can kind of plan things together, or you don't duplicate services when you know somebody else might be doing that. So that's important. But a lot of that comes down to people and time, and easier said than done, I would imagine, but it's also extremely important to get those people involved.
Absolutely. You know, getting anyone more than 2 or 3 people in a room at one time is always a little difficult, especially when we're working on different schedules. So someone from fire and police, someone from the hospital, someone from the school district, we all have different schedules, and we need to try and do our best to be mindful of each other's time. But I think that it's absolutely worth the time and effort we'll put into it in the long run.
That's great. Any opportunities for people to step up into positions to serve on boards?
Certainly. We always have boards and commissions available. I encourage anyone, I don't know off the top of my head what we have available right now, but I encourage everyone to go to cityoftitusvillepa.gov and go check out all of the vacancies that we currently have and apply, and we'll get you appointed as soon as possible.
Excellent.
Yeah. We also have opportunities now starting in June for students in high school and college to participate in the Youth Corps program. That's internships in a range of different areas for high school and college-aged students that are interested in getting involved in public service. So it gives them a great opportunity, just like I had when I was in high school, to step up and do some good in their own community.
And is that something that they can go to the website to get more information? They can stop into City Hall. How do they get that? Or is it too late to apply?
Yep, nope. We'll take applications all the way up until the program begins. So you can go online, again, cityoftitusvillepa.gov. You can also stop in at City Hall and see Casey or Neil. They have applications available there. Or you can reach out to me via email, of course. It's Councilman Griffin at cityoftitusvillepa.gov.
All right. Neil mentioned last week, and we had Christian Marr from the Crawford Heritage Community Foundation on Friday. This is kind of a cool project. Talk about the mural.
Yes, we have a brand new mural coming in at Founders Park. That's something that I began working on when I was junior member of council, so that was 2022. We've finally been able to put all the ducks in a row. We have an artist who is prepared to get started here at the start of June, and funding provided through the Crawford Heritage Community Foundation. So we are very excited to see how that turns out, and we'll begin that very soon.
All right, and that's it?
That is it.
That's
that is the official design. It was prepared initially by middle school students and then pushed up to high school students who refined it, and then it was off to our committee and then to the artist, and so that's the final design with a handful of Titusville history. So we're very excited.
Awesome. And that's a project that should get started sometime summer, fall?
We are planning on starting in June and having it done by Oil Festival.
Wow.
That is the hope.
All right.
So.
And that'll be in Founders Park.
It will, yeah. So it'll be facing north on the old day building.
Okay.
So it'll be on the bottom half. It'll be a great spot for people to get photographs and draw people in, really brighten up the downtown.
Boy, I tell you, I think a lot of people are waiting for the weather to break, and I know people enjoy going out and eating at those picnic tables, so it'll be nice to see that, come about again.
Yes, and today looks like a great day to do that.
Yes.
It's, 80 degrees, so we always encourage folks to get out and enjoy our beautiful opportunities for recreation, whether it's at Ed Meyer or Burgess, or even just walking through town. We've put a lot of work over the years into our sidewalks to make sure that Titusville's a walkable city, and so we encourage people to get out and enjoy it.
So a lot of discussion on, I think Neil was talking about continuing getting some curbs painted for the summer. It's amazing how nice and clean that makes a community look when you add some fresh paint. Well, to anything, even if you're working around the house, put some new paint up can do a lot. But I know like Take Pride gets involved with cleanup days, things like that. But there are some other opportunities, including one coming up at the end of the month, on the 31st, like a spring garden community event that's coming up.
Yeah. So we'll have cleanup days throughout the summer. Of course, we always do one right before Oil Festival through Take Pride, working with Associated Charities. And I know they're going to be doing a community neighborhood cleanup day for the Hope Project, which is down over on the Garden Street neighborhood. So that'll be coming up very soon. So there's always opportunities to step up and get involved in volunteering and make a difference.
We're always talking with the chamber directors, and one of the things is you don't have to wait for those days. Like if you see something outside, pick it up. If you have a business, make sure your sidewalks are taken care of. Make sure you have some nice signage. I mean, I realize there are some costs to some of this stuff, and businesses might be challenged, but to sweep some dirt off the sidewalk or pick garbage up, that's something that doesn't cost a whole lot.
That's right, and if you do that a little bit, once a week or every other day, it's going to continue to look beautiful throughout the entirety of this summer. So we encourage downtown business owners or even individuals that are out walking and see garbage to pick it up and toss it in the nearest trash can. We've got plenty in the downtown. So,
are you seeing a lot of folks coming to council meetings requesting the use of different spaces throughout town, or is that more now people just going into City Hall and doing that?
We always receive in the manager's report a list of special event applications. So Neil has the authority to approve or deny those. And then he just provides feedback, to council of this is what's going to be happening. And it's also a great way to get it into the paper and make sure that folks know those things are happening. A lot of times we have things in Shady Park. Of course, we'll have the farmers market there every Tuesday and Saturday. Yes, yeah. So we're very excited about that. That's something I have worked, a group of us have been working on since I got on council, and so we're very excited to have them back in the city.
Why was it important for you to have them back in the city?
I thought to myself that for folks that don't have a vehicle, that aren't able to drive out there to Big G, that it's much more difficult for them to get fresh, locally grown produce. And so part of it was making sure that constituents that have limited access to transportation are able to walk or bike to fresh local produce twice a week. And so not only that, but it's also a beautiful space to have the farmers market. Not the Big G wasn't a good space for it, but we want to make sure that we're utilizing our city parks and keeping a community treasure like the open air market in the city of Titusville.
I assume folks know that Pavilions, Evans Lodge, available to rent. Do you see that as something? I guess in the manager's report, is Neil reporting like people are using that space, or is it one of those things where, hey, if you haven't been up there in a while, it's a great space to host a birthday party, any sort of an event?
Yeah, we get birthday parties up there very often. We also have folks renting out the community center where the senior center is during the week, so they use that on weekends as well. And we always encourage folks to do that because those are kept and owned and maintained by the city for use by all of our residents. So if you have an event coming up that you'd like to have a beautiful outdoor or indoor space, we encourage you to come into City Hall.
All right. From what you see or understand, how busy is the summer going to be for activities?
We're hoping it's going to be very busy. Of course, we look forward to Oil Festival. I have the privilege of sitting on the Oil Fest committee again this year. That is ramping up very quickly. It'll be here before we know it. We also have our Monday night concerts in the park, so we're very excited to begin those here very soon. Those are always a staple of my summer growing up and flipping hot dogs with the Historical Society. So we're very excited for that again this year. We have the Splash Pad opening up on Memorial Day weekend. We also have the Memorial Day service on the 26th. Lots going on. There's always plenty to do, and we encourage folks to go to Tap Into Titusville to see the community calendar.
And if I'm not mistaken, there are plans for the summer to revamp the audio system in Scheide
That's
Park.
right. We'll be doing a new electric in the gazebo at Scheide as well as some paint work just to kind of revamp and overhaul everything there at Scheide Park so that we can continue to use it every summer as we have.
Any idea when that project will begin?
That would be a very good question for Neil, and unfortunately he couldn't join us this morning.
We'll save that for him.
Yes.
I think a lot of this stuff gets announced, and I think people do get excited about it. And when you talk about all these events that are happening there, obviously it'd be like, oh boy, it'd be great if we could have it for this. But obviously you can still use what's there. This just makes it a little bit better. But
Yeah.
Hey, I think so many people are excited, though, to hear the music in the park, to know the Memorial Day services, weather permitting, will be there.
Yeah.
And we talked to chamber directors about, every community's respective festivals, and even the Crawford County Fair in August. And we're to that point now where, you're halfway through May, you're going, oh my gosh, June, July, August. I mean, it's right around the corner. So for all those people that question why we even have these conversations in January, it's because, one, people are calling and asking because they're planning a family reunion, class reunion around these big festivals, or they're planning vacations and they want to include this area as part of their vacation. And then there's the fact that it doesn't take just a day or an hour to put a parade together or a festival. It takes months and months of planning and communication with volunteers and organizations that are involved in it. So now you're looking at it going, oh my gosh, now it's only a couple months away, and that's going to turn into weeks. So yeah, it's important to have these conversations.
Yes, and the sooner the better. We've been working, like I said, on the farmers market, which will begin here this coming Saturday. But that's something we've been discussing now for a little over a year. And of course, we had to get all the paperwork lined up in the early months of 2025 because they have to get their permits in with Department of Health and with all USDA and all of those folks. So it's something that really comes up faster than you ever expected to. Yeah.
You're watching The Morning Drill on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Councilman Gavin Griffin with us here this morning. Airbnb, this has been a discussion with council. Got approved. There's some things in place. So if you're interested in doing something, you need to probably stop into City Hall and find out. Is there like an official list of things that you have to do to get your place prepared for
Yep.
that
yep.
opportunity?
And so if you're interested in starting an Airbnb, stop in at City Hall. You can talk to either Tim in the Code Enforcement Building Inspector's office or to Casey in the manager's office, and they could point you in the right direction.
All right. How important is that? Because I think some people, there's almost two sides to this. One, it's who's going to stay, that camp, and then the other camp is, oh my gosh, we're booked throughout the year. Like people are always coming back here.
Yeah, well, we encourage, part of the reason that we've allowed those short-term rentals now is because we understand that recreation is one of our largest assets in this area. And especially when we have the gravel bike race, which is coming up here towards the end of this month, and oil festival and all the rest, that we need to have places for folks to come in and stay. And of course, we want them to spend money in town and be out in the community and enjoy everything that Titusville has to offer.
And it seems like some of the folks really are utilizing the creativity part of it and making it a unique staying experience.
Yeah, we see one at the top of Franklin Street that is an old church turned into an Airbnb. And so that one's very cool, and we hope that more people will get creative like that and provide those services here and this year and beyond.
Now, is there a site that you can go to see that locally, or you just have to search like in the Verbo stuff for the Airbnb sites to see what's listed here?
I would just suggest going on to the Airbnb or Verbo and look up Titusville, and they should be on there.
All right. I think people would be surprised how many there are in our area, that's great.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic.
And I still think people are on board with the whole staycation type thing, like explore your surroundings and visit neighboring communities or seeing what's happening in their own community. I see that continuing. And when you look, and we've had conversations with the OC&T and Drake Well, and already like visitation numbers are fantastic. So I think that's just going to play into the whole, like, this is going to be a busy summer.
And we're looking forward to it, certainly.
What, from the city perspective, are there things that you think need to be in place to make that a more enjoyable summer? I know there's some paving listed, some projects that you want to work on, but are there other things coming up that you go, boy, it'd be nice to maybe get this addressed before we get into the busy tourism months?
Well, as we talked about earlier, we have the brand new mural coming in at Founders Park. We also have some new benches over there, but also just the general community cleanup. Those community cleanup days when we have volunteers come and work for a morning, it really makes a difference in beautifying downtown and making sure that it's somewhere that people want to visit and want to stay once they come. So,
do you find that there are community leaders who step up and say, "Hey, I know the city's probably strapped with budget type things. I know there's some big price tag projects that are coming up, and you think, well, what's the cost of a bench to put it someplace?" But there's a cost, and it's tough when you have a budget that's already tight. But do you see community leaders stepping up or coming in saying, "Hey, what do you need? How can we help?"
Absolutely. One of the greatest assets we have is our Rotary Club. So they donated one of the benches. Neil and I both are members of Rotary, and that was something that they approached us with and wanted to help. We also have a bench donated by TechWorks, which does our IT for the city, and they are locally owned, not Titusville, but they're local, and they said we'd love to help in any way we can. And they always enjoy coming down to visit and going out to lunch at Missy's anyways, so I'm sure they'll have plenty of time set on the benches.
And then you've got great companies that step up, and I know a lot of money has been put into projects down at like the Ed Meyer complex, for example, or scoreboard at the old Sites M field, the RTI field, and there's great companies like that also say, hey, we know there's a need. What can we do?
Absolutely, and we, we're very blessed with a great business community here in town. That when someone needs something, they step up and make a donation or ask how they can help any way that they can. One great example is our new police car. So we had budgeted to receive some funds through USDA that are now up in the air, and unfortunately we're not sure that we're going to receive those, but we were able to get a number of generous donations from folks throughout the community in businesses and organizations that wanted to help out in making sure that we could get that police car. So we'll be having a new marked unit, a Durango, here very shortly, and that is made possible thanks to our outstanding community.
Oh, that's wonderful. All right. And then you've got an event coming up.
I do, yes. So this Saturday, I'll be hosting a Coffee with the Councilman. This is something that I did when I was a candidate for council at Missy's. So come on in, and I'll pour you a cup of coffee, and we can chat about whatever you'd like. If you have a pothole that needs fixed, or you want to chat chickens, that's a big hot topic right about now. But I encourage anyone to stop by, have some great food, great coffee from 9 to 11 on Saturday.
I'm glad you've gone back to the normal haircut.
I had a comment.
The college do and the. No.
Well, I had a comment at one of our council meetings that prompted a quick haircut.
Okay.
A colleague of mine told me that I looked like a hippie, and so I figured it was about time to get it cut.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And that's a time to, again, people can come up and address, Neil and I talked too. It's not, you don't have to attend a council meeting just to complain. You can go and say nice things too, like, hey, appreciate you doing this, or good job with this, or hey, I think this might be a problem that that might pop up down the road if you want to take a look at it, or just know that it's on the radar. Things like that are. Again, you don't have to go just to be negative about things.
Definitely. And we had, one of my favorite things is when people come with a problem and a solution in hand. So they have a suggestion of what to do about it. We had someone come regarding the amount of stray cats that have been kind of loose in the community. And rather than just come and complain, she put together a plan of how we could address it as a community through a volunteer group that would do trap, neuter, vaccinate, and release. And she provided all of us with a small packet of information, and she wanted our kind of blessing to go forward with it. So we're looking forward to working with her to try to address that issue. But anytime that folks come to council, we're pleasantly surprised by the amount of folks that we see.
Councilman Gavin Griffin, good to see you this morning.
Good to see you.
Thanks.
Councilman, you wanna